Twitter document dump exposes shocking messages from Democrat lawmakers. We got another dump. More information coming out. The back the back pretty much all of our assertions. What we've been saying for a long time now that Twitter has been a tool that the Democrats been using. So other social media sites they've been using them to censor any type of dissent, especially from conservatives. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out even more news. So check that out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Elon Musk's release of Twitter's Hunter Biden files dealing with the company's collusion with numerous entities to suppress the bombshell laptop story prior to the 2020 election is the gift that keeps on giving. There are so many emails to sift through and so much to discuss that it's hard to know where to begin. That's why I'm going to create a playlist for YouTube, and you can go in and check out all the stories because I'm just gonna and more information that comes out, more stuff that I read and find, I'm gonna put out there so you can check out the playlist to get all of the story. But with all that said, there are two major parts of this. Obviously, Twitter role in the partisan corruption that took place is important, and it exposes a rot that still exists at other major social media companies. On the other side, though, is the role government officials played in possibly violating the rights of Americans by proxy, which could place some in legal peril. I'm not gonna say possibly. They flat out went against the First Amendment. They're using companies to skirt our rights, our human rights, our constitutional rights. They're bypassing all that by using these companies to do it. And that is straight up the definition of fascism when you got government and corporations working together to take away your rights. Basically, that's fascism or corporatism. Maybe is a better word for it. Corporatism, where the corporations and government working together, or maybe it's some type of new thing that we need to come up with to find out what exactly we call this, where they're working together to suppress your rights. But that issue didn't escape Musk as he publicized all this. He tweeted out, "If this isn't a violation of the Constitution's First Amendment, what is?" Great point. If this is not a violation, what is really? On Friday, we learned that the FBI was meeting weekly with social media companies to discuss what accounts and content to suppress. Now, with the release of these files by Twitter, we are learning that the Democrats in the House and Senate were also lashing out behind the scenes. And to put it succinctly, what was being said is downright disturbing. I mean, it is wild stuff. It's one thing to believe this stuff in your heart that this stuff is happening, but it's another thing to actually read what people that work for these companies are saying that the Democrats are actually doing. But they said the Democrats were in agreement. Social media needs to moderate more because they're corrupting democracy and make all quote unquote truth relative. When pushed on how the government might insist on that, consistent with the First Amendment, they demurred, quote, "The First Amendment isn't absolute." Now, these are people in government that are charged with protecting the Constitution, that are charged with protecting your First Amendment right. They are saying that your rights aren't absolute. So that means it's totally meaningless to them. But not that it was a big secret that the left has zero respect for constitutional rights, but it's still stunning to see this stuff out in the open. You had Democrat congressional members as well as Biden campaign um, running to Twitter to describe what they knew was a factual story as disinformation, demanding that it be censored. Worse, Twitter did that bidding, and of course they did. I mean, you really think they were gonna fight the government on this? But that goes well past the public expressions of discontent, which were dishonest enough. The government is not legally permitted to collude with private companies, using them as a tool to violate the rights of Americans. It's illegal. I mean, it's totally illegal. Yet that's exactly what appears to have happened here. Uh, that it possibly swung a presidential election on only adds to the level of malfeasance that took place. Um, what's what this boils down to is a small group of political elites who decided they had the moral authority to essentially rig the 2020 election. Um, who could forget the infamous Time article admitting as much shortly after Joe Biden's inauguration? I'm pretty sure I did a video on it on that Time magazine when they were so happy that they got away with it. They actually admitted it. In that sense, must document dump isn't telling anything new as much as it's confirming what we all knew all along. Most frustrating is the continued reality that there will be no accountability. Nothing is going to happen to these people. Nothing is going to happen to these politicians. They're going to remain in government and continue to and chip away at your rights. But no one will pay a price for it. And Democrats will just move on to their next underhanded, possibly illegal scheme to hold on to power. Still, there's immense value in knowing the truth, and the truth is now out there. On that front, Musk has done the country a great service. I can't deny that. Um, I'm hoping that he'll won't censor people, but we know he already censored Ye already for what he posted. But we'll see what happens with Twitter. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.